Hello and welcome to the Mad Leprechaun. My name is Mert Walsh. I have been riding now for a couple of days with my Shoei GT Air 3 and I thought I would share with you about the helmet. Not all good, I'm afraid. If you're interested, please do stick around and stay tuned. I'm glad for the intro. Right, let's crack on with what I've been finding. On my old helmet, and they were all Shoei's, there was a tab like this one over here. So as you ride along, you would put your left hand up, flick that tab, open the visor. They've moved the tab from here to the center of the visor, which I guess is fine if you want to use your right hand or your left hand, you can get that tab. However, you have to push a button in first to be able to lift the visor up, and also the vent system's kind of in the way of that action. If I put a camera on the front of this helmet, and I intend to do that, I won't be able to open my visor. So I'm going to have to get around that somehow. It's a small little gripe, but I don't really understand why they moved the tab from there to there. This morning, while I was going for my MOT, it was quite cold. I think it was about 4 degrees, and moisture from my breath huffed up the inside of the visor. Now, the pin lock system worked a treat. All of this part of the visor, as you would expect, I would say, moisture got on it. No problem at all, because it didn't impede my vision at all. However, this visor, which is the inner tinted part, when I retracted it, obviously an amount of air or hoof from my breath, moisture from my breath, went up into the tinted part, and when I brought the visor back down, there was moisture all over the inside of the visor. Of course, I couldn't wipe it, nothing I could do, and I couldn't really see where it was going. So I had to stop, clean the visor, and retract it again. I guess if it was slightly warmer, and on my ride today when I came down here just now, no problems at all. So it's, like I say, same as the tab, it's just a small thing. Anything else I've found of negative? The chin curtain is gonna have to go. I normally ride with a chin curtain because obviously normally when I ride a motorbike I have a microphone in here so I can talk to camera, but the chin curtain is too restricting. It may loosen off, I don't know. However, let's get on to all the positive things. Clearly, in the last video, I had this helmet fitted. It was all checked to make sure it wasn't too tight on the cheeks, and there was the right tightness on the cheeks, not too tight, not too loose, and it was the right tightness on the top part of my helmet. That still goes. Everything is absolutely spot on. I would suggest that I have a Shoei shaped head, as I have had a lot of Shoei helmets since 1991. Basically, short story, I decided to buy myself a new motorbike in 1990 and was going to buy myself a new helmet at the same time. Did that, bought myself a Shoei. 3 days later, a drunk driver pulled out in front of me and wrote off me, my motorbike, and my brand new helmet. However, honestly, the helmet looked like someone had taken an angle grinder to it, and but my head was still absolutely fine and intact. Now, I know an awful lot of people would argue that, but I'm saying everything was absolutely fine. So I've stayed true to Shoei ever since. I find them incredibly comfortable. They seem to get better and better and better every single time I've ever bought one. And this one is no exception. No exception, rather. Right, so the GT Air, it would suggest that possibly that the ventilation is going to be super good. It has got a nice vent on the front, on the chin, just down here. It's also got a vent 2-stage on the front of the helmet, and it's got these 2 vents here. I have heard people say that the ventilation is too good. It's still January and the temperature is not excessively high. However, I have been riding along with the front and top vent open today. I would suggest that I always run a little bit hot. So I'm happy to run with the vents open. So my take on it is that it's not excessively breezy. However, I would say that the helmet is exceptionally quiet. The last Shoei and current Shoei that I have been using is the Shoei Hornet ADV, which is a brilliant helmet, fantastic for my style of motorcycle. Unfortunately, if I do ever review any other style of motorbike, i.e. sports naked or anything of that nature, one with a peak is absolutely useless. So I thought I would get this style of helmet, and then that would be more akin to a sports or a sports naked style bike. However, I do miss my peak. I miss it for the low kind of wintry sun. So yeah, I find myself riding with the inner visor down a lot today, but that's because I haven't got the peak. The Shoei Hornet, I would suggest, is slightly noisier helmet than this, and I have been riding without my ear defenders in today, and this helmet is, I would suggest it's probably the quietest Shoei helmet I've ever owned, ever. The aerodynamics, which I can't show you, the indentations on the side, on the back, it's so aerodynamic, it is unbelievable. No pressure points so far, and I've been riding for about 2 or 3 hours today, and I can't find a fault with it, except for the ones I said at the start, obviously. And I think they're just niggles. They are just me being absolutely super critical. Now, what I would say, if you have watched this far, thank you. If anybody else has had an issue with the inner visor, this one, if you could put a comment in the comment section below and just let me know how you got round that, or if I'm doing something wrong, please do make a comment and let me know. Visor and pin lock, absolutely wonderful. Right, I'm back at home. I wanted to talk more about some of the features in the Shoei GT Air 3. Some of them I've already mentioned, and some of them I definitely need to mention. Right, so safety in a helmet comes in many different forms. Now, what do I mean by that? So the structure of the helmet on its own obviously keeps you safe, but there's more than just the structure of the helmet that keeps you safe. The visor system, because it's got a pin lock on it, if it works effectively and efficiently, like this one does, you can see where you're going, and that's safe, and that's good. The ventilation on this helmet, I found when I was riding along, isn't overly cold, although I did shut it on the way home. I know I said I didn't, but I did. I retract that statement. It does work really quite well. So if you get too hot while you're riding or too cold while you're riding, you want to be able to regulate your temperature, and that in itself is safe to keep yourself at a nice regulated temperature. This helmet has a chin vent. It has a vent here at the top on the front of the forehead and 2 other vents here, effectively exhaust vents, so the air goes through the top of the head, keep you nice and cool. It obviously fits really well. Clearly, I've been talking about the helmet fitting really well, and that's important, keeps you safe. It has a good device for securing it to your chin, easy to remove in case of an accident. And whilst I'm on the topic of accident, I wanted to talk about the red tabs. Some of the older helmets like this one, on the cheek pads, they don't have the red tabs. This is the one my cousin doesn't like. If you look underneath the chin curtain, just here, you can see a little red tab poking out, and I hope that's in shot. Something like a Shoei Neotech probably doesn't need, and I haven't seen a brand new Neotech. This is a 4 or 5 years old. It doesn't have the red tabs. I guess you could argue that it doesn't need the red tabs because you're able to lift the front of the crash helmet and get to the person's face. Why? Why, I hear you say, would you need to be able to get to the person's face? So, in case the person's in an accident, it's obviously quite tight to get the helmet on, but if the person's been in an accident, you don't want to start wriggling the helmet off of their head. If you ever do come across an accident, do not take the helmet off of the casualty. Their neck is supported by the helmet. It works basically like a little pillow. But if you think they're still breathing, leave the helmet on. Best place for them, keeps them nice supported. But if you think they're not breathing, now you need to act. Put your finger into the red tab and pull. Put your finger into the other red tab and pull. And if there is a chin curtain on the helmet, put your hand into the chin curtain. It's held on by 4 little clips and pull that off. This works like a little seat belt, the chin strap. That's easy enough to take off. But if you do want to take the helmet off, I would, at this point, once the 2 cheek pads are gone and the chin curtain is gone, I would then remove the helmet with care. Okay, so another important feature of the Shoei GT Air 3 is you can fit an intercom into it, namely the Sena SRL3. Yes, it is on the screen over there. So there's little tabs you can take off either side for the installation. There's little kind of cuts or indentations for where the speakers would go beside your ears, so that it won't be crushing your ears. And also at the back here, there's a little compartment for, I think, the battery pack. I'm not sure, but it is all ready to go if you should want to put an intercom into it. Occasionally I wear glasses, but I only really need them for when I'm working on the PC or for reading. Other than that, I don't need them for when I'm driving. But it did make me think, I wonder if a pair of glasses will fit inside the GT Air. So let's try that. Glasses off, helmet on. Right. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, there was absolutely no forcing the arms of my glasses onto my ears, and they come off. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is force your glasses and break them. But yeah, they went on a treat, no problems. And that's it, really. I can't really tell you anything more than that. And hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of an insight as to why I always choose Shoei helmets. I have set up a Buy Me a Coffee account. I can't guarantee that I will spend the money on coffee. However, any amount that someone would like to give me to help me with my channel would be appreciated. And I have to say, thank you very much to all of you who have given a little bit to help me out so far. If you have liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't liked this video for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below, and hopefully, all being well, I shall see you in the next one. Until next time, people, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.